In life, parents, it's best to be there for your children. So that's the first thing I want to be there for your children. And even if you're a step parent or or whatever, just take care of your children them so, and steer them in the right path. And I wish I had that growing up because growing up, I didn't grow up with my mom, right? And it's similar to and it's leading up to me being raped and all of that. So growing up, I didn't grow up with my mother. My mother had me at age 14, and growing up, I always asked about my mother and stuff like that. I was told that she's a go-go dancer, etc. However, like every time I ask for her and them thing that, like my own father would have cussed me and say, yeah, idiot, your mother knows for you, so if she wants, she can come look for you and all of that. My stepmom, um, so I was living in Kingston at the time with my grandmother, which is my dad's mom. And then when I left and then I went to St. Anne, I was living with my father and my stepmother. But my father was there as well as he was not there. My stepmother never liked me, none at all, I'm unstoppable. And when I said she never liked me, she never liked a bone in me. My stepmother tell me one day, say, she wish sometimes she wake up and she not see me. And unstoppable, when I grew up, I never had the best life. I mean, I show you, and I just give the different scenarios to show you how God good. I never had the best life, and my stepmother, them used to, they were more focused on their child. When my birthdays always come in May, them always say, your birthday coming at one time when at school time and nobody have no money. But yet still, when July, August came, my two brothers always get birthday parties. If they don't get birthday parties, they get money to do whatever they want to do. And please note, them younger than me in a sense. And when my brother them go to school unstoppable, best believe, them man they wear Clarks and Desert Kid Nike and them shoes they go to school. Me used to wear one shoes, them call it Kick Me Kill Me. You know them big mouth shoes they unstoppable?
Mm.
So them used to call my shoes, Kick Me Kill Me and them stuff there. And people used to laugh at me, Jeremy and all of them things. It reached a stage in my life now when I went out and I start beg. And me used to beg on the road and them stuff too. And this was happening throughout my primary school life. I was a beggar, right? It's not that me never there living, I want to go home. But it's just that I didn't want to feel fitting like the rest of people them when me apart with a school and them thing there. My brother when I got primary school used to get like $500 a day. I used to God bless if I get $200 for go to school. You hear me say, my brother, God bless if I get $200 for go to school.
Yeah.
But because I always value education, at 2 times in my life, my thief in my life, 2 times ever. My thief $500 from my stepmother. I'm a thief $500 from my grandmother because my grandmother used to leave Kingston from work and she used to come down in St. Anna. You know, she used to carry donuts and them stuff there. But the thing is, me couldn't touch the things them. Anything me want, if I want to go in the fridge, me have to ask permission if me can go into the fridge. If me want water or juice, me have to ask permission. My brother, them never have to ask permission. Them always could I do anything them please. So nobody never business with me and them something there. Sometimes when I grew up unstoppable, me used to feel like something wrong with me because of the things that my stepmother used to tell me. The things that I remember one time too, my father, because I was begging and stuff, and him find out the man to me is a disgrace and me and to him and him don't know where him get me from and one bag of something unstoppable. And unstoppable me I tell you, when my grandmother was she was sick while she was working, she was living in Kingston on her own. And every time before that, my grandmother normally comes in and she normally say, Grandma, I can't come with her, but she always wonder why I want to come with her, why want to come with her, but I always I cry and I beg her, please, grandma. Sometimes because I know she always I leave early Sunday mornings, I always wake up like all from 3 o'clock in the morning. Cause me I say when grandma leave, me I leave too. And it sometimes she would tell me say, no man, me can't come. She can't just take my box and all of them something. But because she never know when me there go through and stuff, that's why me there ask her me can come with her and all of them something. But she never really know when me there go through. She knows that I was under strict rules and lockdowns, but it's just that she couldn't do nothing about it because I remember one time, the first time I started washing on my life unstoppable was when me as 7. The first time I started washing when me as 7, and my stepmother said, me have no girl in the house and I have to learn to wash my things then. And me as 7, you know, and the mere said my brother them never dare wash at them the age then. I always feel like something wrong with me at them time. And I remember one point in my life when my grandmother decides, you know, she gonna help me wash. My stepmother and my grandmother, they had an argument because she has said, she don't feel help me wash and them things, me a man and all of them things. You reach a stage when I could even, you see school trip and them things, unstoppable. I never go on a school trip. You know, when me know about school trip, as since, because I'm a final year university student now, but as since me come to university, I know what a school trip feels like. As since me come to university, me know where people were genuine and really love and since me start university, unstoppable, I know where strangers love feel like because unstoppable, me I tell you, all of my life grew up. Family members not help me, family members that don't know at all for me. I just me and God. And sometimes people ask me how I do it, and I tell them, say, I can't really explain. You see, since I leave, when I got the opportunity, when I was around 14 thereabout, and I went to Kingston and I was living with my grandmother, I was now going to a high school named Norman Manley High School at the time because I transferred from a traditional high school because I was going to Fern Court High in St. Anne. I transferred, came up, I did them entrances for them and I passed. And them because them had me to like one of the top classes there at the time. And at the time, unstoppable and me realistic with everybody. I hope this not come off our son no way. But at the time, unstoppable, I always heard about gay, gay, bisexuals, and all of them stuff there. And if me look for you until they say the thoughts them never come to my mind, unstoppable, I'll be a liar. The thoughts them came to my mind, and why the thoughts them came to my mind, and it was because when I lived with my grandmother, she was sick. She had to stop work. She never really have no money and them thing like. And you know what the worst part about it, unstoppable? Her own son, which is my father, never really help her. At days, unstoppable when time I go to school. If I know my grandmother, family friend them give her food and them stuff like, if I know her family member them give her food and them thing there, sometimes we don't eat. But because I always tell myself, say, unstoppable, say, I have to make it in a life unstoppable. So I try my utmost best to work hard. But the thing is now with me, sometimes I wish I had the guidance when I did when I was 16, 17. Wish I did have enough guidance because unstoppable.
When you initially started the conversation, you mentioned that you were raped. At what age that happened?
I was raped at 16.
And was this by a male or by a female?
By men. Male by men.
By men?
Yeah, meaning more than one.
How did that happen?
Alright, how that happened was while I was going to Normandy High School, I was doing 2 classes by the name of practical courses. One of them is food and nutrition and home economics management. And as I said, my grandmother sick and things, so therefore she never have no money and them stuff there. And I was doing my CXC SBA practical, but I needed food items, and it's like me never have the money and stuff. And before that, I was in Hertfordshire at the transport center, and this man, like, him just come up to me and him start talk to me. Now, unstoppable, as I mentioned before, I had the thought, but I never seen myself in the action. So I was at the transport center, and the man just come up to me and him start talk to me, and him, him start talk to me nice, and then him start ask me questions like, what am I doing at school, all of that. So I was very young, I was stupid, I was naive.
So you was at Hertfordshire and the man approached you and what?
Right, so I was at Hertfordshire Transport Center in my school uniform and stuff. And Mr. The man looked for me and then came up to me, and then he started to have a conversation. The conversation, him start asking me like, how is the day? And we started the conversation. But in my mind, me I say, why this person just randomly want to talk to me, and me know and me no know him. And I say, unstoppable, if me didn't have sense like what I have now, then what happened to me would have happened to me. And at the time when him give me him card and stuff, and when they are coming, never they are call him and all of them stuff there, because I wasn't that type of person, because I was skeptic about calling him and even texting and all of them stuff there. That time I was 16. You reach a stage now. How I ended up calling him was after everybody were in a back when I know, when I think could assist me with my CXC practical to get the stuff them and all of them stuff there. Nobody was willing to assist me. Nobody was willing to even lend me the money. Me even go shop. I ask the lady who I always buy from if I can owe and pay back when I have money. She said, move from us, I not work. So she trust me no owe to her shop. So my last resort, because I was crying now, I said, Jano, my last resort now, after ending up, go and call the man now. I call the man now, right, Unstoppable?
Mm.
And after I call the man now, Unstoppable, and this is how it'll lead up to the rape now. So after I call the man now and thing, the man said to me, say, yeah man, but and in them time about Stony, now remember now, me left country, St. Anne, me come back at town, because I was born in Kingston, but I wasn't raised in Kingston. I was raised in St. Anne majority of my life. Me left country now, come at town, me don't know nowhere really in a Kingston. The man tell me I must meet him, and he gave me the directions, and I went to a place called Stony Hill. Some place in Stony Hill, right? And this was in the night, So I called the man in the evening. The man said I must come at this time in the night. But I was very skeptic, because I wonder why this man want me come at this time. How I ended up left my house and went there, I had to lie to my grandmother. I had to say, Grandma, I asked somebody, one of my friends, them, where you know, and I eat me real have a collect and stuff. So my grandmother said, at this hours and night. So I say, yes, Grandma, but I lie me I tell. Unstoppable, when me leave now, and I go to my house, my intention, Unstoppable, that's how can make me cry. My intention, Unstoppable, was just to collect when I collect and leave. I never have the intention for no else Unstoppable, because as I say, my CXC practical was the other day. So my intention was just to collect when I collect and leave. And Unstoppable, me tell you, when time I go there, right? Because the man have a upstairs house. When time I go there, I see the man lock the door. So all the man I tell me to come inside, me and say, no man, and me I say, I just want to collect when I ask for and leave. The man lock the door, Unstoppable. And then when the man lock the door, the man grab on for my hand and grip my hand. And when the man grip my hand and unstoppable. I think him just there play me and say, yo, why you grip my hand? Why you do this? The man say, um and that we do the young boy. We don't know a man fraud now, eh? I do not call man a beg man things. So for you get my things, you have to have sex with me. I'm gonna say, no sir, and I may tell him what, no sir, please. The worst part about it wasn't him alone who was there. The man came up on the upstairs, which part him there. And when I go in there unstoppable, men were in there that were already naked. So that means them all in their way and me for come for them do whatever they want to do. Unstoppable, the man them tie me up and them beat me up in my face and them kick me up and all of them something there. And all me I beg unstoppable. Nobody never want stop. Nobody never want stop unstoppable. Nobody never them start the way them want to unstoppable. And the worst part about it, sir, may I tell you the worst part about it. It was 5 of them. 3 of them never use no condoms and 2 used condoms. And after them done do whatever them do now unstoppable, may I tell you, it still end up that I mean I get no at all when I did ask for. The man throw me out unstoppable after them done. And unstoppable, may I tell you, hours and night, you know, but then I pain. I couldn't move. Me I bleed. Because unstoppable, as I tell you, I had the intentions in my thought, but I never see myself in my action unstoppable. I be honest with you, I have people. I always had the intention, but I never see myself in my action. You know what the worst part about it, unstoppable? I became ill. And when I became ill, I contracted sexual disease, I contracted some called syphilis, and there was a wart that grew that was on my anal, unstoppable. And even one time, and the worst one of them to unstoppable is when I do HIV testing and them tell me, sir, my HIV positive is the moment me hear that unstoppable, I want to kill myself. I hate God now, unstoppable man till his life. But the moment me hear that, me hate God, I want to kill myself. There in my life when I stab my finger with knife. There were times in my life unstoppable, I take pills because I said, God, you cannot help me. And therefore I go overdose myself. I just couldn't live with myself. And I was so ashamed. This is like the second person may I tell this to other than my counselor. Because unstoppable, may I tell it, it's not easy at all. And the worst thing about it unstoppable is when you see the person who harm you and it's like all they have in your mind is like, yeah, I think they even is. The only person who encouraged me was one time I go to the clinic at the time, and then I go to the clinic and the nurse lady said to me, say, like she just started speaking to me and she started saying, you have purpose. God bring you here for a reason. And before me even share my story, the lady started telling me what happened to me. I was so ashamed, unstoppable. I remember at one point, I see the person, I tell them, say, I go report them. The person threatened me. I say, anyhow, me report them. Just know, say, I'm my last day, I'm going to live. So all of them, something there, and me, I tell you, I had to stop school for a while because it's like I was became, like my psychological space unstoppable. Like it never did it. Like people know, like some things I'm going to start do, some things I'm going to start say, or I'm going to start be it reach a point in my life, but I never want to be it reach a point in my life when I just feel like, say, like all of this will happen to me and my fault. I'm gonna just feel like say all of this will me I go through, nobody no care about me, nobody no want me. So why me don't just do one mad person who just live on the street, who just roam street and it reach a stage when people start calling me crazy. Like even when I go to church and them and try to pray for me and them stuff there is like when them there do it never there work. As me say I became so angry with God. Me become angry to the point where I cuss out God. I become angry to the point where I tear up my Bible. I become angry to the point where I just lock myself from the world because I just never want in a no contact with nobody at all. At points I couldn't look in a mirror no more. My head always hold down. Just gonna take a life because of all of them go through. So when people get raped or abused by a female, I want them to just talk up because it's hard at first. But if you find the right avenues and whatever we talk up, just talk up because if you up, the body can't talk up for you. Exactly. And if you don't share your story, and because of all of this stuff, unstoppable, it evil, unstoppable. Sometimes when I don't have no food and them stuff here on the campus, sometimes I go through my frustration, especially with courses and them things there. Sometimes the only place we can go to, and I not be biased, but the only place we can come to, a year live them. Sometimes we miss them. Sometimes I go back to them and I watch them because of stories and me hear me and because sometimes if I don't watch a live unstoppable, sometimes I don't feel empowered, sometimes I don't feel like I want to move on. If I don't feel your live, my boss, sometimes I don't know how more to go on. I'm happy that God created a man like you to have a platform like this so people around the world can share them story because if I don't feel you unstoppable, sometimes I don't know how more to move on with life. Sometimes when I'm down, I don't have no money, I don't have nothing there. I hear life I watch and after I watch your life, it put a smile on my face. Tell me I say, wow, like I don't know what just happened. But it does inspire me and it does impact me. I always listen to the different stories them where people come and share. And when I listen, it's like them story, like it prepare me for the future and how I can look on life and all of that. So I'm still more and thank him a million times, boss, in that capacity.
Yeah, mama, brother, big up yourself and thanks for the support continued, you know. Now, I want to ask you another question, family. Now, you said this happened when you were 16, correct?
Yeah.
You say you never reported because the man threatened you. And you say, I'm the second person you're telling this other outside of your counselor. So, that means this person is still out there at large right now, right?
Yes, sir.
You know his name?
His name is Anthony. I don't remember his last name.
He needs to be exposed, and if he might threaten you, that means he might threaten others as well.
For me, unstoppable, I tell myself that the only way I will look to have a wife or none of them stuff there because I am just 22, and I tell myself that the only way I can just look to have a wife and then I have to set a foundation for myself, and then after I build that foundation, then marriage come after that. But for right now, me want.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on there. You say you're just 22?
Yeah.
So you tell me, say, what you share with me just happened 6 years ago?
Yes, sir.
People in here will go on all along the general day you talk. Me think you might talk about something that happened years ago, you know. People, this is something fresh, recent. 6 years ago. No, man. That means that predator is still out there right now.
Yes, sir.
I draw a little boy. Anthony out there draw a little boy. See him with. I wish I didn't know him last name, my brother. I swear to Christ, I wish I didn't know him last name. Anthony from Stone Hill, you say?
Yes, sir.
People may swear say something will happen like one good 15, 20, 30 years ago the man I talk about. 6 years ago, this fresh.
I know. And it was a pleasure. And as I said, I didn't call in because I'm seeking sympathy. I didn't call in because I wanted anybody to judge me, whatever. But I really called in because I believe that this is a testimony that I have. So I'm thinking that if I share my testimony like anybody else, then this can probably help somebody who is probably going through the same thing. So I really appreciate it. And Unstoppable, it is always a pleasure watching your live, sir. And God bless you and big up.
Bless up my family. All right, so people, listen, we've heard some touching callers today, right? This is something that is ongoing. This is an issue in Jamaica that needs to be resolved. We have too much predators out there. We are drawing with boy, pitney, and girl children. You understand? We need something to be done. We need something to be done about it. Predators out there draw with boy pitney and a draw with girl pitney, and then people sit back and then relax and feel like, oh, it not affect me. We can't have that mentality. We cannot have that mentality. It affects all of us. And you know how it affects all of us? Because at some point it could be your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew. And that is how it affects the whole away. Not because it not affect you immediately right now. But if we just sit back and just give a blind eye to it, eventually it will go reach your doorstep. Eventually it is going to reach your doorstep. So the change has to come by me and you. Every single individual person right now has to advocate for a change. We can't blame the brother a while ago. Him did I feel, he was at desperation's door and somebody made him an offer. He never, as him say, never got with no intention. But somebody said, if you're down and out and you need some help, call me. So he make a call. And them gang rape him. 5 men. Who is to be blamed for that? Him? Or the 5 predator them will rape him? How many other youngsters them rape like that? How many other youngsters them are rape like that right now? Because them still out there. And what makes it worse is them give the young man a STD. They gave him a STD. And that is okay with some of you. Much of you go ball out and say, spare them life, man, no kill them. When them a kill off young men like this. So why is it that they should not pay the penalty for the crime when them commit? A death sentence them give. Viewers, listen to me. This right here is a cry out where me I make right now to every single one of you. If you know the predator them, make them known. If you know the predator them and you have a social media, share them image everywhere. And let the public know that that person is a predator. We're not talking about only someone that has been accused, because we know the legal things we can come after that. We're not talking about someone that has been accused. We're talking about someone that has been convicted. Right? Because I'm not going to tell you if you go do something we can cause you if you get a lawsuit. I'm saying, if you know somebody that has been convicted of rape, child molestation, kidnapping, anything like that, and the person has been convicted, you have the legal right to share that to the public. Let everybody know. Use your social media platforms for good. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on TikTok, share it on Twitter, make everybody know them face.
Unstoppable you, unstoppable you, unstoppable you.